Today we're going to take a quick look at one of the most effective ways to harden your OCI environment, and that is OCI Security Zones. Now, if you manage infrastructure or care about cloud security, this is something that you'll certainly want to know. Security zones in OCI automatically enforce secure configurations on your compartments or even your entire tenancy. Once a compartment has been placed inside a security zone, OCI prevents actions that could introduce any risk, for example, creating public object storage buckets, exposing databases, or even disabling encryption. It's a policy framework that enforces compliance, not after the fact, but as things are being deployed. If you're responsible for cloud governance, you know that misconfigurations are one of the biggest threats. Security zones reduce human error by enforcing security controls from day one. You don't need to write any fancy custom scripts or built on expensive external tools. It's native, it's simple, and it's effective. It's proactive security designed for real-world operations. Now that we've heard a little bit about security zones, we'll go through the process of demonstrating what one looks like. Now, what we'll do initially is I will create a bucket and I'll mark it as public. This is purely to demonstrate the fact that within my OCI tenancy, I can create buckets that are available publicly. So I'll create the bucket, and once the bucket has been created, I'll then edit the visibility of it and change it from private to public, which essentially means that anybody on the internet could get access to it. As you can see, when we save the changes, OCI allows me to create a public bucket. What we'll then do is go to security zones and look to create a policy that will stop public object storage buckets from being created. To do this, we'll create a recipe and we'll give this the name deny public bucket. We'll then select the policies. What we'll do is I'll untick everything and we'll scroll down to the one policy that we're interested in, which is deny public buckets. We'll then create the recipe with the one policy that has been added. And once we've done that, what we then need to do is to assign that recipe to a security zone. So we'll create a security zone. From the recipe screen, we'll select customer managed and select the deny public buckets policy recipe that we created. I'll give this security zone a really basic name. I'm literally just going to call it security zone. And what we will do is apply this to the root compartment, which means that any compartment within a tenancy, by default, this recipe and security zone will apply to it. Now in the background, I've deleted the bucket that we created previously. So what we'll do is the next step is go in and create another bucket and just look at the behavior when we try to mark that bucket as public. So to do that, we go to storage, we go to buckets, we'll then select create bucket. This is in the root compartment within the tenancy. I'll give the bucket a name of my bucket. We can see that the bucket gets created successfully. However, if we now go in and try to edit the visibility and make it so that the bucket is available publicly, we'll get this nasty error message that basically tells us that it's blocked. So there we go. We can see that the security zone prevents it from happening. Hopefully this video has been useful and has got you excited about OCI security zones. Thanks for watching.